just folding up all of the names, and I'm trying to fold them here in such a way so that they're largely indistinguishable from one another. That way, hopefully people will be satisfied, and rest assured that there's no funny business going on here. I'm trying to do this one-handed, of course, so you can see the process. So you have to bear with me here with the camera work. This is obviously recorded off my phone, and doing this one-handed. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world, as I'm sure you may be able to appreciate. So, are they all much of a muchness? I think that's fair to say. So just mix them all up. I don't have a hat, so this is not drawing out of hat, and I do apologise because we might see a brief appearance from the cat here. There he goes. Yes, going behind the curtains. But I think they are nicely mixed up. And what I'm going to do now, you can't see this, but I am going to close my eyes as I draw one. In fact, I hope you can tell by the change in volume, I have actually turned my head away. So we will go for this one. And this is Mickey Boy Mick. Many congratulations to you, sir. To the rest of you, obviously my sincere commiserations. But of course, this will not be the final giveaway that we do on this channel, so do stay tuned for further giveaways. But Mickey Boy Mick, what I'll do in the when we start the video proper is I shall flash up my email address, and if you want to reach out, and then we'll take it from there. Take care of yourselves. Ta-ta for now.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to episode 12 of our Deluxe DLC playthrough on Transport Fever 2 out here in the American Southwest. Congratulations to the lucky winner of the prize draw, which I have included footage thereof at the start of this episode. What I'll do is I'll pop my email on screen for you now if you want to reach out, and we shall arrange the best way to get that over to you over the next few days. So many congratulations. So here we are then. We are at Knoxville. We can see one of our passenger trains just on approach into Knoxville in the distance, just coming past the machinery factory now as they head into our central station in Knoxville. For the past few episodes we have been focused on getting some extra cargo lines up and running. We now have the production of goods over at Irving, and those goods are now being brought into the city of Knoxville for consumption and to help with a little bit of growth. What I'd like to do in this episode is just move away ever so slightly and start looking back into the passenger game and make a start on what I've alluded to previously, which is the setup of some transportation hubs, Knoxville being one of those, with spokes heading out to the surrounding cities. We already have one that heads to Hayward, of course. A passenger train for that service is currently at the platform in Knoxville, and I'd like to get some more of those set up. We have a couple of cities nearby, or towns nearby, that we should be able to connect to fairly easily. So let's bring up our user interface so we can see the current state of affairs. $250 million in the bank. We'll start the calendar at this point. The money is accumulated rapidly because I have been running between episodes doing some terrain modifications on the new lines that we set up previously. And what else did I do off camera? Oh, I increased some double tracks on some of our existing lines. The line that we have coming from the logging yard over to the sawmill by Nashville, I think it is. Or is it Memphis? I think it's Memphis. Yes, and then into the machinery factory just off in the middle distance there. A lot of that track is now double tracked, and we have 4 trains running that service, generating a much higher throughput of planks into the machinery factory, which in turn is of course increasing the amount of machines I should say, that factory is able to produce. So let's spin ourselves around, because we're wanting to do some work probably from this side initially. Now we do have Clarksville up here, and I think that's going to be our first destination, and we will be taking one of these lines from here, coming around, and as I said in the previous episode, we'll just snake around this bit here, keep it all open to the air, so no tunnels where we can avoid it, and then we'll go ahead and get our station in Clarksville. If we've also got time, we might head over to Irving as well, or we have a few other towns nearby. We could go over to Ontario, or even into New Haven and into Memphis, with Knoxville of course being the central hub, so all the passengers can get into this the central hub, and from here we'll have some express lines eventually. This won't be done today and probably won't be done for a while, to our other hub cities. Still haven't determined which ones they will be. We could probably do with one up here. Maybe Norfolk would be a good choice, because then we could get to Cedar Rapids, to Wilmington, Grand Prairie and Sioux Falls, with Norfolk being the hub. And if we head down here, we could maybe pick something such as Clearwater or Carrollton, because then we have Rockford, Green Bay, Chandler, we have Athens, Peoria, Murrieta and West Jordan down here. We might have a small hub station down here as well, maybe Nashville or Fort Lauderdale, because they could connect it into Bellevue, New Haven, Nashville, and well, whichever one they'll connect into the opposite one of course, and maybe even into Chandler as well. And then we'd have our express lines from those hubs to each to one another, and perhaps as we get towards the end we could even do a complete loop around the map, connecting into all of our hub cities, and that runs in a clockwise or counterclockwise, whichever way we determine is best, and that will be a nice cab ride, taking in most of our map, calling in at all of our big cities. So we've got some new vehicles, we got the Klondike, and well, that was it, so nothing to concern us at this point. So let's head down and let's think about getting over here into Clarksville. So as we've done so far in this series, we're going to put our station pretty central in Clarksville, so we're going to have to do some demolition work to make room for it. So what we'll do, we'll pause it right now, that way they don't have a chance to start rebuilding. And my initial thoughts are we'll have a terminus station in Clarksville, and we'll maybe pop it just here. Yes, of course, it's going to have an adverse effect on these residences because of the noise pollution, but I'm not too concerned by that, if I'm perfectly honest. Just wanted to do something a bit different with this series. So we're going to have to move that road as well with the looks of it, because our station is going to be overlong. And if we were to put it, like I said, let's just zoom in so we can get it right up against this road here as best we can. Like that will be absolutely fine, and it's pretty much level. What we'll do is just very quickly smooth the terrain out here where we've just put this, so everything is nice and flat and level and looks nice and tidy. There we go. How many platforms do we want from Clarksville? Well, we definitely want one into Knoxville, of course. We could probably do one up to Irving as well, so that's 2. And we may even come down into Haywood as well. So we'll say we'll have 3 platforms here. So we already have the one. We can get another one up and running very, very simply by putting a little stretch of track down here. So let's configure this. So this is our second platform, because obviously they do use both sides here. And we'll put our third on this side, so yet another length of track down here. with a passenger platform running down this side as well. We will then put our station canopy down the platform to mirror the existing canopy like this, and maybe put an underpass here. They have one there and one there, and then everything matches up nicely. Passenger buildings, well, let's see, where can we squeeze one in? I think it's going to be tight, but we can put one there. We can't put anything down here, unfortunately, because they have to be up against the platform. But what we could do is perhaps do something like this, like that. And then if we remove that road and that road, so quite extensive demolition work going on here in Clarksville, but they'll quickly rebuild, I'm sure. And then if we put a road along there, that brings that platform or that station building into play nicely. Connect this up and then connect the rest of it up if we can. Now that was going to be a bit hideous, so what we'll do is if we stretch that out like so, and now connect it in. I know it doesn't want to, does it? Really doesn't want to connect into this road here. I'm not sure why that is, but it's doing its level best to make life. Oh, there we go, perfect. We'll do something like that, and then they have plenty of room to rebuild. Okay, so we can unpause it now. Let them start undoing all that demolition work we have just done. Go to our track laying tool, and this central track here, this is the one that we're going to run over to Knoxville. So we'll start by connecting into Knoxville first of all. What height are we at here? I think that was 12 meters. Let's just see what height we're at over here in Knoxville. And we will use, well, may as well use this outside one here. Let's first of all just have this go parallel. It's not going to go parallel with the looks of it, but we should. There we go. Now we can get it parallel. And then we'll have it come around the corner. Let's see. Can we see what height we're at? If we hover over this, will it tell us? 8.2, and we want to be at 12. So at this point, we'll break away or diverge somewhat from that line and have you start climbing upwards. So that's a 2%, maybe drop that to around about 1%, as close as we can get it. 7% will do, so that's up to 9 meters. Now here it's probably going to want to build a tunnel. Hopefully we can get away without a tunnel. And especially if we kick, oh, in fact, let me think about this. So even though I said we'll have that tunnel there for the cargo line so that our passenger line can pass over the top, it looks like the best option is just going to be to have them cross over like this. So this is what we'll do instead. Now if we make this maintain the current height elevation, that should give us a nice looking crossing here. And indeed it has, and I think we could probably get more curve on this without affecting the speed. Yeah, we can. Just so we make sure we have enough room for a return line crossing here as well. And what we'll do is we'll just make sure we can indeed, yes we can, perfect. So we'll just leave that there in situ, and yeah, all the crossings look very nice, so that's pleasing to see. So yeah, we're at 9 meters and we need to come upwards, don't we? So we'll allow the game to determine our gradient for now. 12 meters, that's what we want, and that's a 1 point, so maybe we could do it a little more gently. Can we get to, yeah, 1%? So we'll stick at a 1% gradient until such time when we're at 12 meters. So we're going to have a tunnel here. Well, not necessarily, because we can just keep curving out this way. And there we go, we're at 12 meters now. So from here on out we stay level. We should remain at 12 meters. A small tunnel there, I don't mind. Can we, well, it's quite slow there, 41 miles per hour. Let's see if we can get that a little better. So back to the tracks. Let's have you increasing at, yeah, 8%. In fact, let's go for 0.5%, 0.4. So depending which way this track is pointing, it will determine this speed here now. this isn't going to be an express line, so if it drops to about 50, I think we can live with that. Small tunnel there, I think, is quite pleasant, so we will also live with that. We're at 12 meters now, so from here on out we absolutely want to stay as level as we can. And let's see, can we get to about 55 should do us as we curve around the feet of this cliffside here, picking up a bit of speed there. Now this next radius is probably going to be quite tight, although we could just tunnel through this little foot here, which might look quite pleasant. And let's get that to 50. Yeah, that's quite nice actually. In fact, we want to be going a little straighter than that, so we're getting a bit more speed here, which is nice. There we go. And now we can have a nice straight run. Here we will probably end up with another small tunnel. Or no, it's just going to do a little cutting like that, which is fine. It's not too bad. Are we heading in the right direction? Not quite. We need to come up this way a bit more. So we've got plenty of space to turn and curve here, so that's fine. And we want to go to about that point, I dare say, and then bring it around. That's 75 miles per hour. And we're at the same gradient or the same track height, so we've connected in nice and smoothly. So there we go. That's should be quite a pleasant journey. We get to go through this little, I hesitate to call it a canyon, but through this valley as such around here. And what we'll do now is we will double track that. As I said in the previous episode, we are going to start looking at more and more double tracking at this point. Even double tracking these tunnels on this line, which is fine. They're only small tunnels, so it makes sense to be able to double track them. You know, financially it wouldn't cost the earth, where some of the longer tunnels we have, obviously you'd incur far greater expense if you're expanding the size of those tunnels to accommodate a second section of track. So we're coming in now. What we'll do here, I think, is we'll head to about there, and we'll link that into that, and then we'll put a diamond here. Oh, in fact, we don't need a diamond at this point, so we'll keep just a simple crossing lane over like there, and then they can get in there and then come straight back out down this way. We need to head back towards Knoxville because we need to complete the track into the station, or as near as we can into the station. So let's round this corner here, and I think we'll have this come in like that, and that looks reasonably straight. It's not quite straight, but it's straight enough. And then obviously this bit here, this is all going to be single track. You will go onto platform 2 when we set you up, which we should be able to do now. But before we do that, we want to make sure we have our signals on our line. So we're going to have, you're going to stop just there. We'll put a clearing signal there. And then it's just a case of putting some blocking signals in along the way. And in fact, I'm just going to delete that first one there. And that way they're not overlapping one another, so the signals will be offset slightly. So that could cause an issue there if we're waiting for a train to clear this rather large tunnel. So I think what we'll do here is this signal there, we'll remove that and push it forward to, say, there, and then remove that one, and that will be the controlling signal for entry into the tunnel for the trains heading up towards Irving. This way, hopefully our passengers will take priority. And then we'll just put a blocking signal there. We'll keep these fairly spaced out. We're not going to have hundreds of trains or anything running down here. Maybe 3 at the most or something like that. So we don't have to be quite so liberal with the application of our blocks at this point. Put you there, controlling entrance into the station, and then we'll have you there as well, and that should now be ready to go. You have good coverage in Clarksville because you're very central, so we should be able to get a new line that comes from Knoxville, the passenger side of things, platform 2, great, and you're going to be heading over to Clarksville. Wonderful. Make sure you have gone onto the correct platform, and yes indeed you have. So let's just give this a quick name, RP, and this is KNXV back and forth to Clarksville. So CKVL, CLKV, Clarksville, that'll do, yeah, CLKV. And yep, that matches our existing nomenclature. So we're all good there, so we can get rid of that. And at this point we can buy a train to run this service. In terms of which depot is going to be best, we could use this one. They would have a fair old distance to travel. They'd have to come through here, and in fact, can they even get there? Maybe not. So I think what we'll do is we have a nice bit of single track here. We'll give ourselves a depot just here, and we'll maybe angle it that way, like so, and get it to bring connect in like that. That will work. Then we can use this one here without any problem, I don't think. No, we can get onto all of this. That's great. So let's buy ourselves a train. We'll go for the Rogers 10 wheeler, and the colour of this one is a sky blue, if I remember, like that. So we'll go for that. Passenger with clear story will have 3, and then a caboose. And I think we'll get 3 trains on this line, so just under 13 million for this, not a problem. And you want to go onto the Knoxville to Clarksville line, and yep, we got no problem getting onto your assigned lines, so everybody's happy there. Okay, so at this point we can either expand out from Clarksville up into Irving. It would be tight because we'd have to come this way, head straight for the river, and then put another bridge in, somehow get over our cargo line and then into the city of Irving. We could also come from Clarksville down into Haywood, which would be a little easier to achieve, so I think we'll do that. Or we can go from Knoxville into Irving, or Knoxville down to Memphis. I think at this point we'll just go Clarksville to Haywood. So let's have a look at Haywood. This platform is going spare, so we'll use this one for this. And let's have you stay at your current height, like that. And let's just do something like this to bring everything together. And we'll put a diamond in at this point once we've got clear of the station, like that. So in fact what we want, we don't need a diamond, we just need a crossing, because they'll be coming down on this track, and this way they can get onto platform 3, and on their return they're already, in fact no, they'll be coming down on this track, and on the way back they could just cross over here, and then they're heading out back up to Clarksville. So which way do we want to go here? Well, we have lots of open space, so we may as well swing around this this jutting out from this cliff here, and just bypass that entirely rather than tunneling through that, because we have all this wide open area here to work with, so may as well make full utilization of it. And we'll make sure we're keeping 75 mile an hour on all these corners, because we do have the space to be able to do so. We're not boxed in or cramped up. Which way do we want to come? Well, we'll have to go this way, I think. That's the best way. And then come alongside, past the iron ore mine, and into this platform over here. So we don't need to curve quite so far, because we're only going to have to straighten back up again. So we'll delete that. And we'll have you now start heading straight. 12 meters, I think, was our height at that station. So let's get to 12 meters now. Well, we have lots of space and what have you to be able to do that. And then at this point have you stay at your current height. And then we know that when we get to Clarksville, we're ready to connect into that platform without too many complications. So we may as well keep this nice and straight. There's no reason not to. Is that connected? No, it's not. So we'll have to make sure we link that together. Perfect. Now we want to curve to the left a little because we want to come beside the iron ore mine station that we're fast approaching. So like that. Is that linked? Yes, it was. I thought it wasn't again, but it has. So coming straight past that, we're not going to snap parallel to it because it's going to be at a different elevation to what we need to be. There's no point getting to the correct elevation to then drop off to then have to climb back up again. And then hopefully here we can get into that platform at a decent speed. 63 looks like the slowest there. 63 is very much a decent speed, so we'll take that. Just for interconnectivity purposes, we'll do something like this, even though we won't be using that. But just so it looks apart and looks like everything's connected, and we have options if we need them. Not that we need them. And then connect into there, and we should be good. Yep. So if we do a line now from Clarksville, I'll rename the name of the station just to Clarksville in a moment. Come down to Haywood. You're going onto the empty platform, which is fantastic. Let's just rename this. It's very easy to do. There we go. And this is going to be CLKV to HYWD. I think that's the correct identifier for Clarksville. Yes, it is. But we need to have that back and forth, both directions. There we go. Yep, that's all correct. We need some signals, some blocking signals along here now, so we'll put one there to clear. And again, we might have about 3 or 4 trains, if that, on this line, so we can keep our blocks nicely spaced out. And there's a bit of track there that isn't connected. There we go. Now we're all connected up, and as we're putting these blocks down, we can obviously just check the integrity of the track to make sure we have no more continuity breaks, which I don't think we will. So we're getting pretty close now, just up as far as the iron ore mine, or as near as, damn it. There we go. Put you there. You controlling access to the station, and you to clear. There we go, that's fine. Like I said, we don't need too much in the way of blocking on this one. So that will work quite nicely. So now we can buy another train for that service. And it's going to be similar to what we've just set up. And this one was green. I think it was quite a vibrant green. I think it was that one. So we'll go for that with 3 and a caboose. And I think we'll just have 2 for this one. It's only a local line from one local town to another. It's not going into a major station, so we can keep an artificially low amount of trains on this one. So 8.6 million for 2. Can you get on the line? Yeah, you can. Wonderful. So that's all now set up. Let's check our passenger numbers. So we already have 8 heading to Clarksville, which is great. From Clarksville, we have 47 heading to Knoxville, which is no great surprise. That's what we want. We want a lot of people heading to these hub towns. I guess we don't have any from Haywood to Clarksville yet. Not from that side, and I guess not from here either. No, not yet, but over time we should start seeing a few. And what time are we at? We're about 25 minutes in. I think we could probably squeeze one more in, and I'm thinking we'll head from Knoxville to Memphis. Yeah, we'll go for that. And where do we want our station in Memphis? It's not going to be as central as the others we've just done, but I'm thinking we'll have it somewhere here. So let's get a station building. For now we'll stick to one because we can always add more in later on if we determine that we do need more platforms. And let's have this. In fact, let's have it right there. Yeah, it's going to remove some buildings, but I'm not fussed by that. Okay, great. Memphis Exchange. No, you are just Memphis. So let's get you connected in to the city of Knoxville. So for now, I'm going to keep it at this height, so it's snapped parallel there. We didn't want that. Just while we're in and around the station area. Okay, you're not possible, but you're not an intercity connection, so we can remove that without any complaint. So state your current height, and at this point we don't mind if you start to climb up. And in fact, what we'll do, we'll head over to Knoxville and see what sort of height we want to be at. So I think we'll come in on this track right here. So we'll get clear, we'll get over all of this. And I think what we'll do... Can we get over there? Yeah, we can. And that's going to stop them short to allow our passenger trains through. So that's brilliant. That's almost worked out perfectly. You can almost believe I planned that. I really, really didn't, but it's just worked out nicely. And let's have you... Can we get another one? No, we can't. So I didn't plan it that well. No, so we'll have to double track as we leave here. So what height are we at? Let's have a look. 8 meters. Okay, so let's keep you nice and straight. So we want to now head back towards Memphis, pick up our line, and get to 8 meters, or if we're at 8 meters, we want to keep it at 8 meters. So let's see, what are we at? 7 meters. Okay, so a little bit of elevation change needed here, nothing too drastic. Yeah, there we go. 8 meters is where we're at now. Keep you nice and level at this point. There we go. And which way do we want to go here? Well, there's the track, I believe. So I think what we'll do... Do we want to share that tunnel and have this bit single tracked, both cargo and passenger? Probably not. I think we'd... If it was just a local-to-local service, then yes. However, because we're going into a transportation hub, we want it to be as efficient and as dedicated as possible. So we will have separate tunnels here. And this is going to be a very long tunnel. But it is what it is. There we go. That's great. And what track are we using? The left track or the right hand track here? Just so I know which to connect into. Oh, it doesn't matter. We haven't started double tracking down here yet, so we can connect into either of these. It doesn't matter. And we'll link this up. And this should be fairly straightforward here. Yeah, there we go. Obviously made a mess of that road, but not concerned by that. And now we can double track. Do we want to double track? Maybe not the long tunnel, but we'll certainly double track that shorter tunnel. So let's double track this bit here, single track through this long tunnel, and then from here into Memphis we'll keep it 90% or 99% double track at this point. That's only a short, well, it's a shortish tunnel, it's short enough to double track it. There's no hard and fast rules to any of this, of course. And come off there. Wonderful. Now our blocking signals, so one-way signal there. Let's just clear that. And we probably have more trains, maybe about 3 or 4 on this one, because we are going to a hub town or a hub city. So we want to make sure we've got plenty of service available for the passengers, so they're not having to wait around. So we need to keep that single, clear there, and then get some blocks between here and where we connect in just outside of Knoxville. like so. Alright, there we go. So now we can get yet another passenger line set up. We're coming from Knoxville over to Memphis. What platform are you using? You're not sharing one, are you? No, you're not. That's great. So this is RP and this is K. Oh, we have a new bus. We'll sort that out in a moment. Let's go back here. RP. Oh, new boxcars. Oh, lovely. We've been waiting for those. K and XV. Back. Memphis. MEMP? MEMP? Yeah, we'll do that. So, yeah, we'll do this in the next episode because it's going to take a while because we're going to have to look through all of our lines and I don't want just to blitz through it and rush it. So, all these passenger and cargo carriages and cargo wagons we'll address in the next episode. But the max for our bus services, we can do them now because that'll be a very, very quick change to take effect. So anyway, yeah, back to this. We've gone from Knoxville to Memphis. We're all connected. Everybody's happy. What's our coverage like in Memphis? Yeah, it's not bad. Might want a bus service there at some point. What about over in Clarksville, actually? How's our coverage there? Pretty much entirely covered, apart from a couple of stragglers out here, so that's fine. So I don't need a bus service of any urgency down here. So let's get ourselves our final train of the episode. Again, we'll go for the 10-wheeler. This one is yellow. And we may as well use this one now, because we will be changing to these very shortly. And I think 2 might be enough. We don't have a new caboose yet, so it's sticking with this one. 14. In fact, do you want to go for 3? Let's just check. Well, we'll move the caboose if we do. 3 kilometers, yeah, it's plenty. So, yeah, we'll go for that. And what the heck, we'll go for 4. 24 million, big jump. No problem. Let's get them on the line. Knoxville to Memphis. Away they go. And very quickly now, we'll just filter out these, get our 2 bus services, and nice blanket swap here for the Mac. And let's just go ahead, pick one at random, and we'll take a look at these, our first combustion engine passenger road vehicles that we have available. Very nice to see. So that's going to help our throughput of passengers in our towns because we have increased capacity and speeds, and it's also making us a little bit more modern, although obviously that is exceptionally relative because they are not modern by our standards at all. Right, so time for our cab ride, and we'll draw it to a close today. So it's going to be on one of our passenger lines, and I think one of the Haywood to Clarksville might be an option. However, I don't know if there's going to be a lot to look at. It's quite flat, so I'm just getting a rough idea as to what it'll look like. It's not too bad, but I'm leaning more towards Clarksville into Knoxville. What train are you? You're going to Haywood, so we can't use you. Who are you? You're not a Knoxville train. Although, do we have one? Oh, we have one on the platform already. He's just waiting for a free path and then he'll depart. We're departing now, so let's hop on board straight away. Oh, no, we need to pause the calendar. Don't forget that. 1900, look at that. Here we go. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. It's nice to switch over to passenger manoeuvres after doing some extensive and extended cargo work. So this is making a nice change indeed, and I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Looking forward to getting our teeth sunk into the new wagons that we've just recently unlocked as we ticked into 1900. That's going to be a big revelation and should hopefully provide us a big boost to our freight income. Our trains will now be going a lot faster, no longer limited to 31, which is always a big bonus. As always, I'd like to take just a moment here to say a special thanks to those of you on Patreon. At the time of recording, that's William Smith and Kylie Brooks, so thank you very much indeed to both of you. Your generosity is greatly appreciated indeed. As always, comments, feedback and suggestions are welcome and appreciated. You can leave them in the comments section down below, of course, or you can hop over to the Discord channel and leave them there, where it's more conducive to a fluid back and forth discussion, but obviously the choice is entirely yours. For now though, ladies and gentlemen, all that remains for me to say is, as always, take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta for now.